Luxury retail in India is one of the more manageable sectors for foreign investors, particularly compared to real estate or e-commerce. India's luxury market is growing fast, a wealthier, younger, more globally aware consumer base. The FDI framework is open for single brand retail. The corruption interface is low. The consumer demand is genuine. For luxury brands that have been waiting for the right moment to establish a direct India presence, that moment is now. Hello and welcome back to the Veyrah Law series. Today we look at a sector that is growing faster than almost anyone predicted: luxury retail in India. India's luxury market has been one of the most remarkable growth stories in global retail. It was valued at approximately $8 billion in 2023, and it is projected to reach $85 billion by 2030. India now has over 85,000 millionaires. That number is growing at 6% annually, one of the fastest rates in the world. The profile of the Indian luxury consumer has also shifted dramatically. Younger, more globally traveled, informed about international brands, aspirational but also discerning. The demand for premiumization is cutting across categories: fashion and accessories, watches and jewelry, fine dining and hospitality, luxury automobiles, premium beauty and wellness. Global brands that once operated through distributors or department stores are now asking a different question. Is it time to set up our own India presence? For many of them, the answer is now clearly yes. Let us look at why and how. The policy environment for luxury single-brand retail has become significantly more favorable. 100% FDI is permitted under the automatic route for single-brand retail trading. This means a luxury label, whether it is fashion, watches, jewelry, or lifestyle goods, can set up a wholly owned India operation. No mandatory local partner, full control over the brand, full control over the retail experience. This is a significant shift from where India was a decade ago. But there is one important condition that every brand must understand. For single brand retail entities with FDI above 51%, there is a requirement to source at least 30% of the value of goods purchased from India. This is the sourcing condition, and it is the most debated aspect of India's single brand retail policy. The good news is it can be worked around for many luxury brands. Sourcing can include goods in any form: raw materials, components, packaging, and finished goods procured from India. It does not have to be the finished good itself. It does not have to be the finished product itself. For some luxury brands, particularly those with highly specific or artisanal supply chains, the 30% sourcing condition may be harder to satisfy. In those cases, a government approval route exists, and case-by-case relaxations may be granted to brands that can demonstrate aspects that justify exemption. The key takeaway is this: the sourcing condition is real and must be addressed. But for most luxury brands, it is manageable with the right planning and the right advisors. Now, what about multi-brand luxury retail? For context, multi-brand retail remains restricted for foreign investors. A foreign entity cannot set up a luxury multi-brand department store in India, selling products from multiple brands under one roof. At least not under the current policy. This is why the single brand wholly owned subsidiary route is the preferred pathway for any international luxury labels looking to establish a direct presence in India. So the structure is clear, the policy is workable. Let us look at how to execute well. Luxury retail in India is one of the more manageable sectors for foreign investors, particularly compared to real estate or e-commerce. The corruption interface is low. The regulatory complexity is contained, and the brand itself is your strongest asset. But execution still matters enormously. Here is our practical framework. First, you can do this without a JV partner. This is an important message for luxury brands that have historically relied on Indian distribution partners. The 100% FDI automatic route means you can set up a wholly owned Indian subsidiary, hire a strong India team, control your brand positioning, control your retail experience, and get starting. For brands that have been operating through a distributor or franchisee, this transition requires careful management, commercially and legally. But the regulatory pathway now clearly supports it. Second, choose your locations carefully. Tier 1 cities first. Start where the demand is. Mumbai, Delhi, Bengaluru. These three cities account for the overwhelming majority of luxury retail spending in India. Within those cities, location is everything. Premium malls, DLF Emporio, Palladium, UB City provide the right footfall, the right adjacencies, and the right brand environment. Five-star hotel lobbies and arcades are another strong option, particularly for watches, jewelry, and accessories. Avoid standalone high street locations for a first entry. The infrastructure, security, and footfall management of premium malls significantly reduces operational risk. Third, keep the team lean but senior at the top. Luxury retail in India does not require a large operational footprint. A lean, well-chosen team outperforms a large one in this sector. But the India leadership must be senior. The India country head needs to have strong relationships with the mall operators, the premium hospitality groups, and the luxury consumer community. In India's luxury market, personal relationships drive significant business. The right senior hire is one of the most important decisions you will make. Fourth, manage your corruption exposure. It is low here. Compared to real estate, infrastructure, or manufacturing, luxury retail in Tier 1 malls has minimal corruption exposure. Your primary interface with government is limited to shop and establishment registration, GST compliance, import customs for goods, and standard corporate filings. Most of these are digitized and process-driven. The discretionary interface with officials is minimal. That said, customs classification for luxury goods can be a gray area. Engage a specialist customs and import advisor to ensure your product classifications and duty calculations are correct. Errors here can be expensive and attract scrutiny. Fifth, advertising. Be culturally aware. Luxury brands in India invest significantly in advertising. This is right and important, but India has its own sensitivities around messaging. Avoid campaigns that could be perceived as culturally insensitive, politically provocative, or socially divisive. India's consumer market is diverse, complex, and has a long memory for brands that get this wrong. Localize your campaigns. Work with India-based creative and communications teams who understand the nuances. Sixth, get your tax advice right. Avoid aggressive structures. Luxury retail in India involves significant import duties and finished goods. India's import tariffs on luxury items, watches, fashion, accessories can be substantial. There is a natural temptation to explore creative structures to minimize this cost. Our advice is clear. Get conservative tax advice. Indian tax authorities scrutinize import valuations, transfer pricing on goods, and royalty arrangements between related parties. As we discussed in our taxation episode, aggressive tax positions invite aggressive tax scrutiny. The money saved through an aggressive structure is rarely worth the regulatory risk. Seventh, plan the sourcing requirement early. Do not leave the 30% sourcing condition as an afterthought. Before you incorporate your Indian subsidiary, map out your sourcing plan. Identify which materials, components, or products you can realistically source from India. Build those procurement relationships early. If the condition cannot be met fully in the early years, understand the timeline for compliance and document your efforts. Proactive engagement with the government on the sourcing condition is available and advisable for brands with genuinely complex supply chains. To sum up, India's luxury market is growing fast, year on year. A wealthier, younger, more globally aware consumer base. A demand for premiumization that is intensifying across every category. The FDI framework is open for single brand retail, 100% ownership, no mandatory joint venture partner. The sourcing condition is real, but manageable for most brands with the right planning. The corruption interface is low. The regulatory complexity is contained. The consumer demand is genuine. For luxury brands that have been waiting for the right moment to establish a direct India presence, that moment is now. Recalling a quote by a famous luxury designer, luxury is a necessity that begins where necessity ends. In India today, that line is moving very quickly. We hope this episode has got you thinking about luxury retail in India. If you found this video useful, please do share it. Thank you for watching and see you in the next episode.